This program is brought to you by TAB. Long may we play.
Hello, I'm Caroline Searcy. Welcome to another week of Thoroughbreds Are Go, looking at the great athleticism and adaptability of the thoroughbred and giving you tips for rehoming and retraining your horse. Coming up, the importance of breaking in and pre-training the Godolphin thoroughbred to give it the best chance of a productive, happy and full life off the track. Young couple Ben Blay and Kate Roots, with loads of thoroughbred expertise within racing and the equestrian world, they explain how to bring a horse up to full competition level after rehabilitating injuries. Kingstar Farms, the thoroughbred guru Scott Brodie looks at disengaging your thoroughbred for flexibility and safety. And more thoroughbred love in Arrowfield Studs Strappers Stories. That's all coming up on another packed edition of Thoroughbreds Are Go. A winner of the prestigious Australian Stud and Stable Staff Awards, Godolphin breaker and pre-trainer Scott Eels has prepared many of the Darley racetrack stars. His main principle of training is preparing every thoroughbred for a full life within and away from the track.
Microphones won the English side. Elise's going to win it by neck in the missile. Collect going, great guns, and it's a spectacular win in the Oaks.
Scott, you've been in this role for 15 years and you've broken in and pre-trained some absolutely wonderful horses. Tell me about, what goes into it in the early stages of their pre-training and being broken in that helps them when they go on to a career outside racing.
It's the whole setup. Our program is very low impact. It's a short time in and a lot of time out of work. Each horse goes to the paddock every day. They're never kept in boxes, only overnight. Probably the biggest thing for me is we have no time frame. 18 out of 20 might be ready to go to Sydney on the 4 weeks. If they need 6 weeks, 8 weeks, or need to get back to the paddock, then that's what we do. There's no questions asked.
And it's about patience, isn't it? I mean, this is for a horse, no matter what they're going to be doing in their life. It's about patience and learning to respect humans and be comfortable around humans.
Absolutely. It's just as important to have the right people as the right horses. Everyone's a little bit different, but we try and surround ourselves with people that are just as relaxed as each other, as the horses, and that affects the horses in day-to-day life. Every time my staff take great pride in handling these horses and getting to the right stage to go to Sydney. So everything we do right from day one, the end goal for us is for the horse not only to perform on the racetrack but to have an afterlife. All our hands-on work right from the days at Woodlands, they're handled every day, to here. We don't just train them as racehorses, we do a lot of other work with them, we do a lot of arena work, so that when they graduate, if they're not going to the breeding barn, then there's an afterlife, whether they take up a position here with us as a lead pony, a jump out pony, or they go on to be a show jumper or an event horse.
You can really see in your staff how calm they are when they're getting these young horses in boxes, that they're tacking them up, that they're getting legged up, they're walking out. Everything is done with a measure of calm.
Yeah, it's the only way to approach them. It's the only way you're going to get the result you want from these babies. And looking at 2-year-old races, a lot of horses win 2-year-old races, not on ability alone, but being tractable, being comfortable in their environment, relaxed, And when it's a nose at the finish line, it goes a long way to what we do here. It's always so much easier if we have any problems with them all to have someone on the ground. That's why I go in the water with them all as well. They're taught to sort of follow the human their whole life, so you can't really try and expect them to go somewhere that you won't go yourself.
So tell me about, you know, the jump outs. You have your practice barriers, which are so important to, you know, walk these horses through right from the get-go when they come to you. But also the barriers themselves, they're quite scary for horses, but it really does help them be bomb-proof further down the line.
Yeah, so the barriers they're a high anxiety area, not just when they're babies, when they actually know what they're for and what's coming after the barriers. So we have a system where the horses, the first day here, they're walking through our practice barriers, which are, they're 15 centimetres wider, they have no fronts or backs, but they just get their head around that whole enclosed environment. And then when we take them to the barriers, first jump out, they would have walked through a few times. Everything's very relaxed. I'll make them stand in there for a few minutes. Before they go to crown, they'll have a total of 3 jump outs, but all we want them to do by their last jump out is be relaxed behind the gates, walk in, stand quietly. I always stay with them as comfort on the ground, which they've learnt to appreciate in their year of life here. And just fall out of the gates. We don't drive our horses out. They pick that up pretty well on their own accord. Some horses will lose their way down the track just from the sheer anxiety of race day. We just get the horses back, we run them back through exactly what we did with them as babies, and we pretty much have a 100% strike rate in turning those horses around.
And what does the round yard teach them? I mean, that again, it's a very relaxed environment, but you know, there's a lot of respect there. And this is basic training for anybody who was training a horse for the show ring, or for dressage, show jumping, hunting, eventing, anything. This is really essential work for any horse. Yeah,
absolutely. So the first week we have them, they'll be in the round yard. And the round yard's not only safety for the horse and my riders and my ground staff, it takes all the focus out of everything else that's going on around the farm and focuses the horse on the person that's with it. And that just, it just helps concentration.
And you have a great routine you've developed yourself over the years with getting them into the pool. I mean, this is an important part of fitness, obviously, but again, it's a scary thing for a young horse.
It is, and you would think that most yearlings have grown up playing in a dam or such, but a lot of that's not true when we have everything's automatic waters nowadays. So we have a very good system where their third Thursday they'll come down to the splash pool. I just go in the baby pool with them, walk them through there as many times as they need. Same as everything we do, it's all low impact, so I'll have someone click them up from behind. As soon as they show any interest in the water, we just leave them be, and that rewards them for showing interest. Next day, straight in the splash pool, straight in the big pool. Same as our jump outs before they leave the crown, they need to do that 3 times confidently.
And we see Parthian here. I mean, he's such a lovely, lovely horse himself, a son of Lonhro. He'd make a beautiful show horse or whatever someone would want to do for him. And he is looking for a home. He didn't quite make it as a lead pony. He didn't like the babies kind of leaning on him, which you can understand. But you can just see how tractable he is here being ridden. He's quite easy to do anything with. It's just great to see already that he's had some work since he's been racing. We
gave him a break here. We've just been doing some arena work, a few trail rides, and he's the loveliest horse you'll come across on the ground. He's the first one to run up in the paddock to be caught, and as you'll see doing his work there, he's very, very tractable. One of the biggest things for Sheikh Mohammed and all of golfing is not just the racing career of these horses, but it's their afterlife and their health and their well-being. So everything we do here, even when they're finished racing, we just want them to have a productive afterlife where they're going to be used. I've even had some of our lead ponies that have served their time now that have moved on to riding for the disabled. So every horse we have, we will always try and find it a home.
What's the process? I know Godolphin is, you're very strict on where these horses go, and you do follow up for life.
If the horse doesn't work out, then it comes back to us. And if it changes owners down the track, we need to be made aware of where that horse is at all times. So the normal process is we might have, even some of my workers might know someone looking for a horse. We try and find the right horse that they're looking for, and then Taylor Gilmore, who looks after all the rehoming, she's our site contact. So then it's handed over to her.
I couldn't think of anything better than getting a horse that's been trained and looked after so lovingly and so, with such experience to be a horse as an off-track horse.
Yeah, and in our downtime, when the babies are finished and we're just doing a bit of pre-training, we'll bring as many back through as we can and tick them over and find out what they're going to be good for, whether it's going to be jumping, eventing or just pleasure hack.
So if someone wanted to get hold of a Godolphin horse, like, they couldn't do much better, could they?
No way, no.
And you can see the great care and love everyone in the Godolphin operation has for the thoroughbreds. Coming up on Thoroughbreds Are Go, a story about rehabilitating thoroughbreds off the track from injury. And thanks to Kingstar Farm, another training tip for your thoroughbred from the thoroughbred guru, Scott Brodie.